Where are the barbecue sauce babies?
Right next
Why
to the
is...
ponies.
Alright. It turned red finally. It took forever.
Where are the barbecue sauce babies? That's my question.
In
No.
Equestria.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, and this is all recorded. Anyway, welcome to the review part of the vanilla ghost house map. Anyway, what we do here, if you watched our previous videos, is we make a review, 5 stars maximum, 1 star minimum of the map we just did. And of course I'll go down what qualifies per star. Anyway, the first one is the number of infected in this campaign. Was it overwhelming, underwhelming, the right amount? What do you think? We'll start with Dread.
I thought it was the right amount. It didn't get too overwhelming, and it wasn't too underwhelming.
Okay, so you got the 1 star. How about you, Kyo?
I didn't have any problems with the amount of infected.
Yeah, neither did I. To be honest, it felt like a survival map in that sense, where it just felt like, okay, here's a horde every now and then there's a break. So it didn't like for such a short map it didn't like overpower us with infected, which is quite nice, and it just fit so well. Anyway, the second one, which goes into how big the campaign was it too short or too long? We'll start with Dread.
It was... I don't really think you could call it too short, but it wasn't... It didn't take forever for us to play.
Yeah, true.
So it was like medium.
So you think it's
like
right in the middle, so you just think it's right in the middle. It wasn't too long, but too short. So that makes it mean you have a full star.
I guess I'm gonna give it that. I would kind of give it half a star.
So you want to give it a half a star. Okay. What about you, Kyo?
Well, it's one of those maps where it's a long map if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, it doesn't take you any time.
And I would agree with
It would take you almost... It's longish if you don't know, but it's way too short if you do know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I would agree. This map is really meant to make you think that you're just playing the map for fun, and you have to be blind to at least have some fun with it.
Yeah, this map definitely is a map that, once you know what you're doing, it just loses all its funness.
Yeah, so
it is fun.
I'm guessing that all three of us are going to say...
doing and bring in 3 people that don't.
Yeah, I'm going to say that this map is half star, in my opinion, just based on that. It's meant really for blind people and just for novelty. It's not really meant to be played repeatedly.
It's not meant to be...
Unless you really want to bring your friends in. So I think all of us agree it's about a half a star in that sense.
It's just a fun map to show people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's fun and creative, at least.
Yeah. Okay, and the third one, difficulty. Thanks for whoever coughed there. The difficulty fitting. Basically, if we're playing normal difficulty, does it feel right? Was there enough health items? Not enough? Or was there enough weps or not enough? Or was there just too many specials? If it's all perfectly fine, then it's a full star. Half a star if anything has a problem with any of the stuff. So what about you, Dread? What did you think about that?
About the difficulty?
Yeah, did it fit for normal difficulty?
It fit for normal difficulty, but it's a lot of platforming, and that's kind of hard to do in Left 4 Dead.
Well, so do you want to give it a half a star then?
Pretty much. There weren't a lot of weapons.
Okay. Okay, what about you, Kyo?
I like platforming myself.
There's also a lack of melee weapons.
Yeah, that's true, but let's get Kyo in.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it actually about that.
So you would like to give it a full star then?
Maybe 75% of a star.
So you be 3/4 of a star. Okay. It's the first time we have a 3/4 in this episode, in any of the episodes, even though we've done 2. I would kind of agree with both of you.
Episode, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I know, but it's going to be the first time we ever had one. Anyway, I would agree with both of you. Like, there wasn't enough weapons, but at the same time, it didn't feel like it was such a difficulty curve. where we didn't need those weapons for the most part. Most of the places are just platforming, and when you're doing this, I've always had a problem with platforming when you're using a keyboard. I mean, it's doable, but it's a lot tougher than it is with such as a controller. And I get, yes, it's Mario, it's meant to have some type of platforming aspect, but most of this map was just straight up platforming. And it did have a harder difficulty feeling to it, but at the same time, it didn't. So I'd like to actually give this a full star just based on that. I mean, it felt like it was harder just based on the platforming, not really of was there enough health items, because to me there was quite a lot. There was enough weapons just for us to get by. There wasn't too many specials being spawned, or not, it just felt like it had a nice balance to it. Like, it didn't overwhelm us, and it didn't really too much underwhelm us either. So I want to give it a full star. Okay, number 4, design of the map. Does it stay within theme? Yes. I think all three of us can agree that it stayed within theme.
Yeah, there's no denying that.
Yeah, and the cool thing I loved about this map is that it actually took sprites and made them 3D objects to actually make them a boss or things that actually would hurt you, like the Mario game would have. So, all three of us agree it's 1 star solid. And of course, the final one. Do we recommend it? And I want to start with Dread on this. Would you recommend this?
That would be kind of hard. I would recommend it if you want to show something really cool and creative to some friends.
Okay, so...
But it's not meant... I don't think this was meant to be played over and over and over and over map.
Well, so would you give it 1 star, or would you give it no stars? Or would you give it a half star?
I kind of want to give it a full star, but I think I have to give it a half star.
Okay. So, let's see. What's the tally for Dread? He got 1 star, half a star, so that's 2 stars. So you want to give it a half a star for the final one, right, Dread?
Yeah.
It's, I think, 3.5. Let me do my calculations again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3.5 stars for Dread. How about you, Kyo? Would you recommend this? Would you agree with Dread? What?
Well, it's a map you'd recommend kind of as a one-off. Mm-hmm. I mean, you'd never really play it again after the second one, so it kind of makes me a little bit hesitant to actually recommend it.
Okay.
You're never gonna play it more than once in the first place.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it, but it's nowhere is it worth a full star of recommendations.
So you would give it a half a star, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you had kind of the same thing. Let's see, you gave 1, 2, 2.5, 3. You gave it 3 3/4 of a star. And I would have to agree with, well, Dread here. It's not a map that personally I would recommend if you were going to play a map quite frequently. If you want to show your friends, just show them once, just to show them what it looked like, how creative it was. I would say it was recommendable on that point, and that point only. That, or if you want to give it to little kids, just because they're bored.
Why would little kids be playing Left 4 Dead 2?
Because can. Don't question it. People have children.
The modern age.
Yeah, don't question it.
And M-rated games are now everywhere for children. Doesn't matter.
If I was going to base it on terms of that, I would kind of want to give it a 1 star, just because it had a lot of creativity going into it. But at the same time, I don't want to actually give it a full star at all. I don't even want to give it half, because it felt like it was incomplete. I'd rather give it like a 1/4 of a star, based on it's recommendable, but only for one reason. And that's as far as it goes. If you wanted a map that you can play constantly, multiple times, yeah, it's not that kind of map. To me, this map felt like a survival map for a little bit of a novelty, have a little fun, see what they try to do with it. But afterwards, you didn't want to play it ever again.
Well, actually, it actually kind of felt like, well, the final mission of a larger game set playthrough map.
Yeah.
It looked like it had the setup, because especially since how small the starting room was, and the other door. It almost feels like it was stripped out of another map.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that it seemed like it was great and creative, but it felt really like restricted too.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was stripped out of another map, though.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, we've played maps that look really, really long, but they feel short. So, it's not like it's a map that I would totally recommend to somebody if they wanted to play a really long map, have fun with it, and constantly still have fun with it even after they played it the first time through. It's not that kind of map. It's like so restricted like to one central area. I mean, it's nice to have the fact that, hey, go find these switches so you can move on. Well, that's a nice effect. It gives it length, but at the same time, it's like they didn't try enough to give it like more than one part of a map. It was just one central area, and it's all combined into one thing. So you go through one area, you find the switch, you click it, and you go to the next area, you try to find that switch, you find this switch, and they're very well hidden, and then you just take on the boo afterwards.
It's kind of like someone's test, see if they can do it.
Yeah, this one seemed like a test map. Fun, I'll give it at that. It was very creative, but really it was restricted to like one central area, and it felt like a survival map because of it.
I mean, I won't be too surprised if a larger map does come out some point.
Yeah, if there is, we'll keep check on it, and maybe we'll try to play this map again and give it a like version 2.0 or something like that, if they make a better one. But until that, then my stance is my star rating right now is 3 3/4, just like Kyo's is. And Dread's, well, he's got 3.5 stars. This makes it hard for me to actually give it an actual overall score because it requires me doing a lot of mathematics. I'm gonna say it's at least 3.5 stars overall.
You agree with me.
Well, I don't want to do a whole lot of math right now. It's kind of just don't want to. Okay,
Well,
it's fractions, man. You don't want to go through that. But I could, just don't want to. Anyway, fun map. Could have been longer. I'll have to say that. I kind of wish it was longer because it was one of those maps I would like to keep playing for, but it doesn't have any more to go for.
I think the number you're looking for is a 3 1/3 stars.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's 3 1/3. We'll go with that. Anyway, thank you for watching this review. Hopefully, you can try out the map if you really want to. If you don't, well, that's up to you. Anyway, from all of us at whatever we want to be, see ya.
Don't forget the chocolate mud babies.